I've been trying my best not to think about you, but you're stuck in my mind. I've been hypnotized by you. Hey, all the suffering and pain got me feeling so blue. Cause when it was us, I was never enough. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, pushing me down instead of pulling me up. So tell me what I'm supposed to do just to be alright. Girl, you got me thinking I was messed up, yeah.
Good afternoon, good early evening, everyone. James Hicks here, Hicks New Media. Welcome to another episode, another session of ITN Live. And it's been a long time since I did ITN Live. I've been doing a whole lot of other shows. I want to get back to my roots. And the guy that I got here with me today is the perfect guest for that. We're going to have some fun today. This guy right here. So you see my video, right? And folks say, James, you look great. Well, I don't know if anyone ever says that. No one's ever said that. But my camera setup is good. My lighting is decent, things like that. But when I bring this man on, it's going to be like I'm streaming in AOL, MySpace days or something like that. This man is a UX designer by trade and by education. He puts his heart and soul into everything that he does. Very meticulous, very, very precise. And when he does walks through of his broadcasting studio, I swear to you, I got a pen and paper and I'm looking on Amazon to find whatever it is that I can copy him off of. There's multiple layers to this gentleman. He's an investor. He's a content creator, which is how we've connected. He's a builder, cyclist. And to throw it in on top of that, he's a beekeeper. I want to get into everything that I possibly can with this band. So without further ado, because I want to be cognizant of his time, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Junaid Ahmed. How are you, brother? Look, hold on.
Dang.
See, while you were backstage, you did something else with your lighting. Because now, I don't know what you did, because now you're just off the hook now. See,
oh, my God.
I can't compete.
I feel like I'm coming off really hot. Like the lighting is too hot.
That's the problem. You coming in hot, brother. You in a good way. You making some things happen.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, man. Good to see. Like we were saying backstage, you've been busy today. You have been all over the airways, broadcasting, sharing the good news, being of service to the community. But I tell you what, give us the elevator pitch. Tell folks who you are. I know I gave a little bit, but I'd like to hear directly from you yourself, sir.
Amen, man. Amen. So who am I? I'm a simple man who's got a ton of ideas and just trying to get into one thing at a time. Been a designer forever, a tech enthusiast, and I've got a ton of hobbies. And the reason I have so many hobbies is because I'm so passionate about whatever it is that I learn about. So I go deep. I figure out the why. Why is this something like this? What can I use it in? How can I use it? And it's just been amazing going through life and through journey, figuring out what it is that I want to put my mark on. So yeah. That's
I love it, man. The more simplistic, I think, the better, the more it resonates, and that really shows that. But I can tell, again, in the brief amount of time that we've been communicating online, that you are a man of, I will say, specifics, right? Everything that I've seen you touch, everything I've seen you initiate or do or talk about, and again, give service to the community, you put really detailed analysis into it. I mean, just look at what you've done with, again, your display, your lighting, your audio, your visual from your design studio perspective. And you can tell that you come from a UX or a design kind of background to have that eye, right? To really know how to work with shading, to work with lighting, to work with audio and things of that nature. My folks are online. They're going to love the fact that you're in Virginia. Talk to us a little bit about that. You're in Virginia. All my extended family is in Richmond, Hampton, Williamsburg, and DC. What's going on on the East Coast, brother? What's the weather like right now for you?
Weather's really nice. We had a windy weather. The kids were flying the kites. We just got a few kites the other day, so they were flying them outside. The weather is really nice. I'm actually feeling a little hot in this coat. It's 70s.
Wow.
We're getting those beautiful weather back. It's no longer winter. It's not snowing. It's not too cold. It's the perfect weather right now. Sun is shining, and it's beautiful out there.
I love it, man. I miss the East Coast. I miss Virginia. I miss home. When the world opens back up, I got to make a trip. Who knows? I may come knocking on your door and say, brother, you got some food? Man, because my kids will eat everything, and I'll just drop my kids off at your house.
Absolutely.
That's a point I want to pivot onto, and let's talk about that. This whole 14 months that the world has stopped, right? That's kind of thrown folks for a loop. That's actually, made a lot of things that we were probably doing the year prior, put them on hold, put them out of reach and things of that nature. How was this whole change of the entire universe freezing for a little while? How has that affected you? And I'll say from a professional perspective, are you still able to go out and reach clients? Are you still able to go out and do the things that you do from a professional perspective?
Great question. So as a user experience designer, I got lucky to be able to work from home. Right. So being able to work from home, and this actually happened a month before everything was locked down. So February, December, January, I was driving into DC, and the commute was crazy, and I was just looking for a way out. So for the past 2 years, I've been doing a podcast, recording them from home, and I was like, hey, it would be really cool if I had a work from home job. So luckily, a friend of mine reached out to me and said, hey, are you looking to move to a 100% remote position? So this is like beginning of February. I was like, yes, brother, hook me up. So I got in and started spending more time in this office, converting it into the studio. So I got really lucky into, being able to spend more time here. So that's what happened. Being able to work from home, being able to then show up. Now the things that I was doing professionally or as a videographer or as a filmmaker, we weren't able to do a whole lot of short films that we had planned out or documentaries that we had planned out because of all that happened. But I do see all of that stuff is opening up too. So I'm looking forward to going back out there and shooting some short films or documentaries. But being able to stay in one place, it also helps me grow as somebody who's streaming, as somebody who's coming in front of the camera, because majority of the times that I've been using the cameras, I've been behind the scenes. I've been operating the equipment. I've been operating the camera, the settings, the setting of the frame. I was never in front of the camera. And here I've got some static going on.
You know what? I went backstage to see if it was me. Today's got a little audio feedback on the,
Let me see if my setting is right. Yep, it's right. I have the speakers turned off.
There we go. Now you sound much better. All right,
perfect. So every time I move my feet around, there's some kind of static that just comes back in. I need to upgrade my audio gear because I'm still using a Blue Yeti.
Is that, man, you should, I just sold my Shure MV7
Nice.
on Macari. I never have used Macari before. I've always been like an eBay or whatever. And so I just sold that on Macari last week, and I'm rocking the pod mic because I went all Rode. So I got the Rodecaster Pro, and I got the Rode pod mic, and I'm loving that whole combination. Man, I could have hooked you. I would have sent it to you for free, man. Oh well. I digress. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. So talk to us some more.
No problem at all. So yeah, that's basically what ended up happening. I spent a lot more time here. You know, the one thing that people don't do is experiment. So I spent a good 3 to 4 months experimenting with the lighting, experimenting with the camera setup, and just got really comfortable sitting in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Talking to the camera, because that is the hardest thing. You know, everybody says, "Oh, I don't know which camera to get. I don't know which lighting to get." That stuff is easy, man.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing you can get. You spend an hour a weekend on YouTube, you figure that stuff out really fast. And there's a ton of people that'll tell you, "Hey, do this, do this." The hardest thing is being able to come here in front of the camera on the microphone.
Press record, huh? Yeah.
Press record, go live. You know, that's the hardest thing, because that is something that you can't buy. So I say to everybody, hey, if you got a minute, if you got 5 minutes, just talk to yourself, just start. So yeah, man.
So that's interesting. So let me ask that. So again, from your UX design, from that profession and from that trade and from that education, were you typically giving presentations in front of large audiences? And even when you were making films and doing that, were you more behind the camera, behind the scenes? And when did you step in front of the camera, right? When did you step into the role of being more of a content creator? So yeah, I know you got the podcast, but again, that we've got the veil of, we could be sitting in our sweats and in the bed, you know, with nobody looking and just filming with, you know, I have the microphone. But when did you actually put the lights on yourself and say, I want to be in front of the camera and I want to actually speak my message?
That's a great question. I think a lot of it started happening when I stepped into the podcast role. Okay. I was doing a little bit of lives here and there, you know, because Facebook's been around I've been around on Facebook for about 14 years. So I saw, people are doing live. Let me jump on, see what this is all about. Okay, it's pretty cool. And I would, like, on and off since Twitter and YouTube, you know, been around on them since 2006, 2007. I was in front of the camera, but not really selling anything. Not about selling. Not really even have a message. I just wanted to show up and just, hey, try this little thing out.
Yeah.
See what that is all about. But I've been a content creator for a lot longer, because I've had a film camera when I was probably 11.
Okay.
And then I got these an 8mm camera around when I was probably 16. So I've been playing with tech for a while, right? But I was always behind the scenes trying to figure out the tech. Hey, let me take your photo.
Yeah.
Never being in the photo. And when I was in the photo, it was all weird because I'm just throwing these signs up and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing because you can put the cameras on the timer and, you know, it's gone. But I really found my voice when I started interviewing people on the podcast, listening to other people on the podcast, listening to their interviews, and then interviewing other people myself. I started seeing the pattern. Now, I've been following Tony Robbins and Frank Kern on these guys for the past 15 years. And I love Tony's message, you know, just get started or, you know, take massive action.
Yeah.
But I really never stepped into that role till I found the calling, till I found people who would then listen to me, or, you know, you got to make that transformation in yourself.
That's interesting. I like that. Yeah.
And like the reason I can talk about this entire studio is because I went through that transformation. If you were to see what my home office looked like,
yeah, do you have the before and the after? Those we want to see the before, the blood, sweat, and some of the tears as well of actually when you were building it. That's what we want to see.
I know, right? Those are the fun stuff that we love to look at, the transformation, the flip of the screen. I do have something I can share later on.
Yeah,
if people want to see.
Definitely. But I say that, but you yourself don't appreciate it unless you respect the journey, right? So if you had just one day paid someone or paid X number of dollars and had Amazon ship you just all this gear and had someone come in and set it up, there's probably less return on value for you personally, as opposed to, you going through the iterations, you going through the changes and finding something that works. You said you started with a film camera. My first film camera was a Pentax, right? So going through those old days of knowing how to manually focus, knowing how to manually do lighting and things like that. So if you hadn't gone through the journey, we appreciate it, but you would be able to appreciate as much of what you've built and what you've accomplished thus far. So shouts out and kudos to you on that, brother. You've done some good work, and I know you're not done.
It's never over. Like I said, I'm looking to upgrade my microphone, right?
I love that. Let me ask you about your podcast. Talk to us a little bit about that, because again, I caught a couple of episodes, and I'm gonna give you the challenge and the action item now. You got to get some more going. What was the last one that you recorded back in December? I think last year. We need to get some more episodes going.
That's the last one I published.
Okay.
Right. So I've got a bank of podcasts that are coming.
Okay. So this is a softball that I just lobbed at you, right? So,
I know you did.
Catch it, man.
I've got a ton of episodes that are coming down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good till September to be able to record new ones.
Okay. And the subject matter is what?
So the subject matter of the podcast, it's called Hacks and Hobbies. I started a podcast as a hobby. Right, I've got 100 hobbies, and what happened is, so I've had a podcast back in 2012. It was called Still Brewing It. I co-hosted with my cousin and my brother-in-law, and we couldn't continue going it after 4 episodes because we were in different time zones, we were in different spaces, and it was just not the right time. And in 2017, I caught the bug. I was like, I want to do this again. But again, we just still had that same constraint. I finished reading Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. He said, just document the process. What are you going to lose? And it just happened that I was going into beekeeping, finished my 8-week beekeeping class. I was like, I'm going to document this journey on my podcast. So the first episode is called Queen Bee, and my friend was like, "Hey, you should talk about Queen Bee." I'm like, "I know, I'll talk about Queen Bee because it's a beekeeping podcast." It's like, no, Queen Bee is Beyonce. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That's the wrong queen. I'm talking about the wrong bee.
So I talk about that on my first episode, and I didn't even have the name figured out for the podcast, and I recorded it in my car.
I love it.
While driving home, because I discovered Anchor.fm.
Yep.
So I didn't promote much. I just talked about beekeeping, documenting the process, getting comfortable, talking to myself, talking to the phone, telling my story, telling whatever I am learning, documenting the process. And as I got more comfortable, I was like, hey, I want to talk to other people that are doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are other people doing? How are they able to take their hobbies into a full-time gig? How are they taking their side hustles into a full hustle? Like, what are they doing? So I started interviewing other people. I interviewed my good buddy, Danny Dodge, who is a video production specialist and a tinkerer. He's a inventor as well. He's invented a ton of new things. And I met him through another hobby or passion of mine backing Kickstarter projects. I've backed over.
Yeah, I want to get into that too, man. Yeah, that's good.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
So that's where the podcast started. And as I connected with more and more people, the more clarity I achieved. I got more clear into what my story was.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can tell people, hey, this is my story. Like, I think it was end of 2018, Pete Vargas was launching this program to own your own stage. And he gave it a new name. Like, he called everything a stage. It was just being on the stage physically was not the stage. A stage, like, this is a stage. ITN Live, I'm on a stage right now. Podcasting, that is a stage. YouTubing, that's a stage. So how do you show up on that stage? How do you tell your story? And I was like, I don't have a story. What are you talking about? I'm just this dude who does design work, crazy about these things. But then as you realize and listen to other people's stories, you start figuring out what makes you tick, what makes you work.
You know, and that's what resonates, right? Again, and I kind of want to counter that because I think everyone has a story, right? You give folks the opportunity; they would love to talk about themselves. They would, right? And, you know, everyone is says that they're shy, says that they're an introvert or whatever, but you let someone talk about something either that they're truly passionate about or they talk about themselves, and they can literally go on for hours. And
oh yeah,
that's one of the main reasons why I continue to do this. Really, again, is just to give the principal that I'm talking to, so like you, that opportunity to tell your story and to let folks get to know you. Who is Junaid, right? Yeah. We know you just at kind of at a microcosm level from the fact that you have an amazing live streaming setup, amazing photography as well. So whoever's taking your photos, brother, look, I need to hire them to try to get some headshots for myself. So,
man, you're gonna love this guy, John Meadows.
Yeah, give him a shout out. I may give him a call, see if I can get him to fly out to California to see what he can do with this mug. But you know, again, those are the things I think that resonate, and the fact that when you tell that story and you are passionate about it and you believe it as well, that's the content that matters. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, it's not about trying to make the buck, right? It's not trying to get the however many X number of followers on YouTube or whatever platform you're trying to do. But if you're trying to tell a story and if you believe that story, the audience will come, the community will come, you'll have the engagement. And I think, and I know, I see you doing that. Mm-hmm. And I guess my ask is that you continue to do that, because I haven't seen an episode since December of last year. And you got some good stuff for a guy who's backed, what is it, over 200 or so Kickstarter projects, for a guy who's invested in a half a dozen startups and who's also a beekeeper. Brother, let me tell you something. All right, look, let's get focused, man. You got some things to tell the world, right? You got a couple of stories to tell.
Yeah, that's so true. And it wouldn't have been possible to get this level if I hadn't taken this step to doing the podcast. Hey, Kristen, great to see you.
Christian's a good
Carolyn
man.
says hi too. And she's asking if I'm close to Churchill or North Side. Well, I'm in Northern Virginia, close to the airport up here.
RIC, Richmond International. Look, I know, man, you're home, brother. I know where every barbecue place is. I know where. I know where I know back roads to VCU and everything. So we can talk about that too. No,
for sure. So I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, you're right. So what it really got started me was I took this step. I documented the journey, and I met some people. Mm-hmm. So communities is so important. Being part of community. We're part of Let's Get Live. We're part of some other communities, the eCamp community, and they help lift you up, right? My daughter's going to come in. Oh my God, she looks so pretty.
Yeah, we got to see that. Oh my goodness, look at this. Hello.
Say hi.
I love it. I love it.
I can't hear.
You can't hear? Here.
Hello.
Jane, say hi to Danya.
How you doing? I like the dress. Look at that dress. What? You're waiting for Daddy, huh? I won't keep him too long. I know. Who we got in there? We got the son in there too. I love it, man. There he is. Look. You're muted, brother. Oh my gosh, you're muted. What are you doing? You're still muted, brother. See, but that's what it's all about, right there. There you go. Now you're back. Oh, that's why you muted. No, don't mute that. That's what it's all about, right there, brother. That's what it's all about, right there.
All right.
Me and Musa have our own YouTube.
So you want to come to the camera and tell them?
Yeah.
So my son here, Muhammad and Musa, they also have a YouTube channel.
I love it. So what are you guys doing on? What are you guys doing on YouTube? You guys streaming some games or something?
We just do anything.
I love that.
Closer.
Aaron says he just does anything.
He just does anything. I'll tell you more about it. All right.
Probably a YouTube partner already, right? With
yeah, he's got YouTube partners.
Got Twitch partner and all that stuff. I love it. I love it.
Baba, how many subscribers do you have?
111.
It's a good number, brother.
Count of my subscribers. I do, right?
So it's a race, right? How many does Dad have? We got to make sure we have at least one more than Dad. Say we're winning. I love that. But that's cool, man. Right? Turn the youngsters on to technology because.
God, they love it.
I've always said there's two professions, two industries that are really going to be around for a long time. I've said medicine and technology. And the more we can get our kids into technology, especially science, technology, engineering, and math, so all the STEM curriculum and things like that, because they are going to be taking this over, taking it to the next level. They're going to be understanding UX design. They're going to be understanding artificial intelligence, deep learning, and things like that. So I applaud you for that, man. That's good stuff, brother.
Thank you.
Look, dude,
they're ready. They're getting ready to go.
It must be time to eat.
Up, right?
Yeah, it's time to eat.
I'll catch you up, okay? All right, I'll help you with your jacket. Let me switch on this camera so then you can see.
So while you're doing that, I mean, let's not overlook kind of some of the capabilities that you just did just now, being able to move from screen to screen, angle to angle. And that monitor that you have is just ridiculous. And I thought I was rocking it with cause I got the LG 35. What do you got right there, brother? That looks like 80 inches?
I've got a 38 inches.
Bad man right there, boy.
So low curve. Again, I am a designer, right? So I want to be able to see what I'm designing and zoom in as much as possible. Plus, I got old eyes right now.
Well, I'm older. Look, I think I got a couple of more trips around the sun than you, but we won't go into that.
Right. So I wanted to go back to the point, like what really enabled me. But so I took the step, but then the community. So when I joined Anchor community and the podcast, I joined the Anchor community and I started meeting people that were also on the same journey. They're also podcasting. And one specific gentleman, Errol Erdeman. And guess what? 7:00 is when my lights go off. So let me turn these back on.
You got them on an automatic timer and
I got
everything.
An automatic timer because sometimes I forget to turn off these lights. Hey, Alexa, turn on the studio time. Alexa, studio time. Don't you forget.
Okay.
See, ladies and gentlemen, you can't buy this, right? This is live. This is live streaming for sure. I mean, the lights go off, the kids come in. He's telling Alexa, start the car, turn the lights on. I'm done. This is gold right here. This is gonna go. This is definitely going to get repurposed on every channel that I got.
Amen. Yeah, man. I keep losing my train, but this is live. That's the power of live stream. That's the power of stories. It's a pub
Yeah,
stories.
that's my mom. Yes, it did talk. Mom, you've got one of these as well. You don't have the Alexa, but you've got the Google. So you've got the Google Home. You can
Yeah.
tell Google to turn your lights off, and tell Dad to turn the TV down. All that stuff.
Yeah. Right. So Errol Erdeman, he got me on. He was actually working with a gentleman writing his own chapter in a book. I'm like, I don't know. So he wrote a chapter in a book called Magnetic Entrepreneur.
Mm.
So I met him in person, and he's like, you should totally do it. You should do a chapter in this book and talk about your story. I was like, I don't know. I don't have any stories. What am I gonna say? So finally, I talked with him, saw the book, and I was like, okay, I'll take a plunge. So next couple of days, I have to write a chapter. I'm like, I've written blogs, I've written stuff, but I'm not good at it. When am I going to write it? While I'm feeding my kids? It's not going to happen. So I was driving back and forth from work, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to record it because I use this subservice to transcribe my podcast anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just record. So 3 days in a row, I spoke for 2.5 hours. Ended up with 17,000 words written. And the publisher's like, we just need 2,000 words, man.
Can you cut this down for us just a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Editorial review, please. Yeah, a little editorial review.
Please. Why are you going to go write a whole book when we just want you to write a chapter?
You're like, Junaid, this isn't your book. This is
Exactly. So it's things like this. It's things like this. Taking the plunge, just trying it out, experimenting is what really gets you to the next. Like, just be uncomfortable for a minute, and you're gonna learn so much more about yourself.
True. And the fact that, even like Christian was saying, you've been on multiple other shows and sessions for the last few days, just getting different audiences, getting different conversations, different dynamics. That makes you comfortable, again, being under the lights, being in front of the camera, having the microphone on, and practice makes perfect. And anything that you're trying to do, especially if you're trying to do it at a high level, right? Because again, anyone, like you said, you can do a podcast from your phone using Anchor. I've done that before as well. So the technology is there, and it's been demystified from the days of when we were building websites and we had to know HTML. Well, now you don't have to know that, right? Back in those days, there was Dreamweaver, and there was all these other tools of having to know code. But now, WYSIWYG, object-oriented programming, just widgets and things like that. So getting whatever message it is, if it's an audio message, if it's a video message, if it's a pictorial message as well, it's really been, I keep saying demystified, but simplified as well, just for the end consumer to be able to spread their message and to have the platform, whatever the case it may be, that they want. So I love the fact that you're getting after it, right? I'm passionate about folks just getting after it, man. And because again, everyone has a story. Just go out there and get to it.
Amen.
Let's get back to that 30 and 38-inch monitor. God, I need to hold on. I literally just picked up this LG a couple of weeks ago because Sean Doc Boyd was LGL as well, was talking LGL and was loving it. And I was like, all right, I had two 27s. I had two Philips 27s, and they were 1080p. And I was like, man, I don't like two monitors and having that split between the middle. I'm real anal about that or whatever. So I said, let me get something else. I went out. I tried to do the cheap route. I went to Costco and I got a large monitor for much less probably than I knew I should have paid for it. It was on sale. I said, let me try it. I swear to you, 2 hours later, I was back at Costco returning that monitor and went ahead and did what I had to do and picked this one up. Yeah. Let's talk brand. Which model is that? Which one you got? Is that an LG? Is that Samsung? Who do you rock? Because I'm gonna buy it in probably like 10 minutes here.
So I've got the Dell 38-inch.
Oh, Dell.
This came out a couple years ago.
Okay.
Now Dell, all of the Dell monitors, they use the LG screens. Right, so it's very comparable to an LG screen. It is a curved monitor, so anytime I look at a flat monitor, it feels like a concave monitor. It feels weird, but you kind of get used to it.
Yeah. Hey, so I love Dell. That's where I give 80% of my working out of my day hours anyway. So
there you go. I love the Dell products. I love their sleek lines. I mean, I've been a Dell monitor user for easily 15 years. Easily.
It's one of those. It's one of those things you get what you pay for, and it's actually some pretty decent quality. So right on to that. Okay.
So before I had this 38-inch monitor, I had a 34-inch widescreen, which I bought maybe 7 years ago. So I was using that as my main machine. And as soon as this one came out, I was like, I got to get me this one. So I upgraded my wife because she was working.
Well, you had to do that first, right? Just so you can justify getting. You definitely a married man. You there you go, brother.
Company said, hey, you get this. You can get this monitor, for working from home. I was like, all right, I'll pitch in and get me a 38-inch. Now, what's funny is that in 2020 or 2021, Dell just announced a 40-inch widescreen curved monitor, and it's got a 5K by 2K resolution, so much higher resolution than what I've got. I'm like, I don't think I want to upgrade again.
Do you want it? Do you need it?
I don't need it.
It's one of those things, but you want it. You definitely want it.
Exactly. I want it, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
So this one works perfectly fine, and it does the job. I got a ton of space. I can segment the places. Plus, you really got to learn how to use a widescreen monitor. If you've been using a 16:9 or a 16:10 monitor, and you go for this 21:9, oh my God,
talk about that. Yeah, because it's very different, right? Just again,
very different.
Being able to split multiple screens, multiple working environments, and so talk to us a little bit about that, right? So folks on a consumer perspective, because they're seeing all these monitors, right? They're going to Best Buy and they're seeing these big monitors, and really prices are dropping down to be more reasonable for 32s, 34s, 35s, whatever the case may be. So talk to them about that aspect ratio, the 21:9.
Yep. So the 21:9 is ultra wide. They call it the ultra wide aspect ratio, meaning if you're watching a movie, and the movies are usually shot in ultra wide cinemascope, where you've got the black bars on the top and bottom, because when you put it on a 1080p, you get those black bar top and bottom. The ratio is like 2:3:5:1 as opposed to 16:9.
Right.
So you got to really use the monitor with segmenting your space and how that's going to work for you. I do like 2 monitors set up, especially now that I'm streaming a lot, because I need a second monitor that mirrors with my teleprompter up here. Yes, buddy. Okay, can you go to Mama? She's ready to go outside.
Where?
To Nana's house.
No.
Can you go sec? Musa, go find where Mom is.
I'll pick you up.
So yeah.
Hey brother, that's home. That's life. I love it.
Home life.
That's what it's all
about. The
about.
other cool thing about the super wide monitor is that if you're editing video, you got a nice wide screen for that timeline to show up.
Yeah.
Again, it all comes down to use case. What are you going to be using a widescreen monitor for? Are you going to be watching movies? Are you going to be editing code? Are you going to be editing? It all comes down to use case. That's why there's so many different types of monitors you can purchase. Have you seen the Dell 49-inch monitor?
I have. I've seen it. I've got to touch it. It was in a very controlled area, but I contemplated for a minute, but then I would have had a little explaining to do if I brought that home. I don't.
Exactly.
I got a lot of room. I do, but I don't. Just like my TVs in the house, I don't want my infrastructure to look grossly out of place, right?
Right.
I'm kind of I'm real particular, even like about cable management. I don't see any cables, right? So something that big is again beautiful and all, but the light emitting from that, and I'm only like 2.5 feet from my monitor right now, so that would blind
Yeah.
me when I'm up here in the middle of the night trying. So
Exactly.
long story short, yeah, it's beautiful. Would love it, but it's not something that I mean, I've got the 32-inch that I use over here during the day. When I shut down Dell and turn over here, I got the 35. I got my iPad, and then I got my my MacBook Pro. So I've got enough screens to get me through the day and to be look like I kind of know what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so I just go back to the use case, what am I going to use this for? How is it going to work? And is this going to be something that's going to good for you? Now, a lot of people are using two identical monitors because one is their production monitor, the other one is their program monitor, and that works great. So I had to get a second monitor just so that I can throw my or mirror my my teleprompter to it. So this monitor on the side is a 16:9. Now, I don't know if you probably see the lip of it in this shot when this camera goes backwards.
Go ahead. So talk about that, right? So when this camera goes backwards, you can't just gloss over what you're doing, brother.
Right.
All right. This is why Junaid is my new hero. Okay. And mom, birthday time, I will send you the SKUs and the part numbers for some of these camera dollies and things like that. I got to get some of this stuff here. Talk to us a little bit about some of this magic. That we're completely deviating from the run of show that I had, but you know what? But who cares, right? Completely deviating from the things that I had, but. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, again, just the presentation that you have, because, again, it's awe-inspiring, right? Again, I'm on the camera, but then I bring you on, and then it's like a whole extra step up just because of the way that you I'm going to go buy some more nano. You see, there's my nanolight. Hold on.
I see your nanolight. I love it. It's nice.
We were talking about, but,
I was trying to find a place for it. I was like, I don't know where I would put that nanolight. Like,
well, they throw it off a little bit. Let me turn it off. They mess up my lighting here a little bit.
Yeah.
So there, let me turn those off. All right, there we go. Go. Give the people what they want. Give them a little bit of that slider action.
So here's my slider that's on the side behind my monitor. So it basically goes side to side. This is a product from Rhino Camera Gear. Now, Rhino Camera Gear, I discovered these guys, guess where? On Kickstarter. They started out creating these products for GoPros, little sticks for GoPros. And now they have these sliders. Yep, that's the camera we're using. Now, this slider that's back here is a really tiny one. A two foot, basically like 20-inch slider, and just goes side to side. It's designed for cameras. It's designed for smartphones, so that you can program your smartphone, put it on there, get some sliding shot. And here's my son messing with the switcher because he loves doing that.
Well, he knows how to do that, right? Again, they've got their own channel as well, so they're pretty high end too, right?
That's right. So then I have.
Only 6.
He's only 6.
6 going on 21. I tell you what.
That's right. So this camera on the back over here is also on another slider, but it's got a lot more axes on it, so I can push it back all the way. It is. I think it's probably set to.
His phone.
50 millimeters at the moment.
Okay.
And then so that one makes it happy. I could just program it again. That one is also by the same guys, Rhino Camera Gear, and I can put my little picture-in-picture on top. Can you stop moving that, please?
Now, are those all DSLRs or mirrorless cameras that you got on those, or are they action cameras? Because you said they were built for the GoPros, but are those like Canons or Sonys or whatever?
So this slider was initially designed for a smartphone, but it has the capacity to be able to hold a DSLR as well.
Okay.
Right, and so there, it's got a pro setup, so you can mount a full-size DSLR camera on it. And I think your mom's saying he's not concerned, but the kids would.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, impressed with the fact that you're dressed for the environment. Mom, Junaid is a pro. I'm rocking the Hicks New Media gear. I'm rocking the company swag, but this man has everything down from hair, makeup, lip brush right there. I see everything. So he's got it down for sure.
I got some stuff over here. Right? So that's the little setup here, and the cool part is I can control this dolly back here with my phone. So just so I could set it up and move this camera around, so you can kind of like get a little idea of what the rest of the setup looks like.
So let me ask you though about this, because I kind of want to. So the presentation is phenomenal. Now, talk to me a little bit about how this helps you deliver your message, and it's almost a loaded question, right? Have you gotten to a point to where you're showing folks this cool party trick that you can do, and saying, you know what, you can have this as well. These are the steps. Yeah. These are the components. I can come out and set it up for you. I can give you the tools of how to set that up. Are you seeing yourself maybe branching off into providing that type of a service to folks because live streaming and video content creation is not going anywhere, right? Even when the world opens back up, there's going to be a lot of folks that are still doing this. Have you thought about moving kind of into that consultancy or into that service management piece of what we do and offering a service of studio design, studio config, studio setup, and things like that?
That is an excellent question, and I've actually been helping a few folks here and there in helping them figure out what equipment they need, what camera, what lenses they need, what type of audio equipment, what kind of audio hardware do they need. Yeah. To be doing in person, like there's one gentleman in UK that wants to do in-person podcasting. Like, hey, we're gonna have 2 people, 3 people, 4 people at times that are gonna be, how do I record this? So I'm going through the research process and helping them figure out what is gonna help them work. Oh, gotta cry, baby. Hey, Donnie, you want to check this out? Look at this.
This is a heavy one.
I love it. I love it.
So I'm helping people figure that out. I don't have the gear for audio yet because I've only been using USB microphones, and I've got some idea. So I'm still doing some research and figuring out what that's going to be. So I am helping people, set up their environment, set up their cameras, their lighting, and then also helping them with their overlays.
Nice. Okay.
Kind of like a full service, and then there's this lady out in UK. She's amazing. She's like, hey, I've only got LinkedIn Live accessibility. I want to do this show. It's going to be twice a week, and I need help. So I was like, okay, let's walk through your home. Yeah. Where are you going to be setting up your desktop? What is the distance between the walls? What is going to look good on there, right? So it's all mathematics, right? You just put those numbers in.
Interesting. That's a good perspective. Yeah. Yeah. And tell your kids, just so they know, they're on LinkedIn Live right now as well. So we are definitely YouTube, Facebook, infotainment news. We're on nice. Like I said, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and on LinkedIn Live. So they are getting their spotlight on the business network as well. So they are getting their share of that.
Fantastic.
Again, but look, I tell you what, I want to be cognizant of your time, and what's most important is family. And I see the kids there are hungry. I see you got things to do, and I want to be respectful of that. In conclusion, I guess, tell me real quick what you've got coming up next and where folks can catch you kind of online on social media and things of that nature.
Absolutely, man. I'm setting this up for people because, like you said earlier, well, content creation is not going away. This is the way that we talked to people in droves. This is the way we get the message out. Because if you're not, like Gary Vaynerchuk said, if you're not here, you don't exist. So how do you get here? So you get in front of this guy, get in front of a camera, and then you show up over here. There's so many platforms, right? There's a ton of platforms that you can get on. But the hardest thing is getting past your own fears of being in front of camera, being comfortable, being consistent, being true to yourself. Because guess what? When you're true to yourself, people that resonate with that story will come. When you show up with your vibe, you're gonna find your tribe. So that's the message.
Man, I'm writing that down right now. I'm talking with the folks. I'm sure you've heard the name Preston So, right? The folks who do lots of
Preston So, yep.
I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. First of all, be comfortable being uncomfortable is the other one, and then when I play this back about the vibe and the tribe, I'll make sure to kick you down with some of the commissions when I put those shirts out. I got more things coming when that launches. Junaid, but look, let me tell you something. You're a good dude. You really are a good dude, and I appreciate you taking some time.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you walking us through the studio and kind of allowing me to kind of get behind the scenes, because a lot of times, and let's be honest, a lot of times when you go online, you're talking about, again, the components, you're talking about the infrastructure, you're talking about those things. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time for folks to understand who you are, right? The things behind that, and the fact that your kids came on. That's golden, right? Because that shows the value of the man, and that shows really who you are kind of at a core. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time. Brother, I will get with you. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow when I go out on Amazon and try to find these Rhino camera gear components and get those shipped to my house. And hopefully my wife doesn't kick me out when I get those installed. But I will call you when I need some help. Brother, be good to yourself.
Absolutely.
Take care, man. It's great talking to you.
Take care.
Go feed those kids.
Will do.